Let's go through how we got to this point. Despite some early signs yesterday for trouble for Flynn, White House counselor Kellyanne Conway said yesterday afternoon that Flynn was still in good standing with the president.
General Flynn does enjoy the full confidence of the president. General Flynn has said he can't recall, and that he had about 30 phone calls with I guess, leaders at the time, and since then 70, I'm told, with different leaders, and I'll just leave his comments at that.
By saying he enjoys the full confidence of the president, are you saying you're satisfied that he did not have those conversations, that he did not mislead the vice president?
No, those are two different questions. You asked me, and I'll repeat the answer, does he have the full confidence of the president? Yes, he does. Then you're asking me, what did he talk about with people when I wasn't on the phone? So the only way for me to answer that is to tell you what he has said, which is that he can't recall.
How many times does she go out and say things that are not true?
That are
and
blatantly
just
false.
It goes by.
Blatantly
How many
false.
times? How many times?
Willie, it happens time and time again.
I don't think we could. I will not interview her. It's giving people dishonesty.
She goes out and lies, and you find out about those lies.
It's not worth.
A couple of
hours
the interview. Later. Like, or if she's not lying, Willie, she is actually what I've heard. She is so out of the loop.
Totally.
She's in none of the meetings, and she just goes out there and starts talking without having
blathering.
The facts.
Well, if you're going to put her out there, everyone has to be on the same page.
Right.
That's the problem. That comes from White House strategy, right? You've got to have a central message that you're pushing out. There's reporting from CNN and others that say, take this for what it's worth, that say when she went out there, that was true as far as the White House knew it. Information came to them in real time, they said, when Sean Spicer had to go out and say that the president is reevaluating Michael Flynn's position. Do you believe that in the hour or two between that? The information that had been available to them, according to the Justice Department, for a month, that they'd sat on and done nothing with.
No. Come on.
I don't understand why she would agree to do an interview. Good booking by MSNBC, but why would she agree to do an interview under those circumstances?
It happens time and again with her. It happens time and again, and she's been out of the loop for months now. And she'll go in and get a picture with the president, do a selfie with the president, and say, "Oh."
Interviews are her chance to one up and suck up and make mistakes.
But she
can't do it.
David Ignatius
can't do it.
It goes to management structure time and time again. I asked Donald Trump one time. I said, in the middle of chaos, I said, "Who is your person? Who is the person that can come in and talk to you and tell you you were wrong, you were off base, and this is how we need to right the ship?"
Well,
and I'm sorry, he was silent, and he said, "I'm the person." He said, "That's the wrong answer." And it is the wrong answer. The President of the United States cannot be dealing with the day-to-day drudgery of running a massive operation.
Yes, but the buck does stop on his desk. My guess, and this is just speculation, is that between Kellyanne Conway's full confidence and Sean Spicer's were examining, arrived Jared Kushner. Arrived the person who does seem to speak directly to Donald Trump and say, "Wait a minute, Mr. President," and I do think I've covered so many administrations where the early months, especially in national security, were bumpy. I mean, I remember Ronald Reagan's presidency. Richard Allen, the initial national security advisor, didn't work out at all well. I remember Bud McFarland, a wonderful man, had a disastrous run for a time as national security advisor. These things happen, and often presidents don't step in when they should. In this case, Flynn is leaving, and the candidates are, from everything we know, outstanding people who will run a better process. This process is so difficult to manage. A president can't do it alone. But he has to have the right person, and hopefully now he's going to find that person, and then he'll have a reboot. He'll start over.
It is. For people that are concerned about this country and this country's foreign policy, this actually, despite all the questions this raises, this actually is good for this country. Very good for this country if the president replaces, General Flynn with many of the names that we've heard this morning.
It would be really, really good. Right after Kellyanne, her comments, Press Secretary Sean Spicer said the president was, quote, evaluating the situation. Changed a little.
He's speaking to Vice President Pence relative to the conversation the Vice President had with General Flynn, and also speaking to various other people about what he considers the single most important subject there is, our national security.
By the way, I'm just going to say, as far as discipline goes, people might have said, why was he reading that?
Oh, please read it.
They need to do, and I'm dead serious, they need to do a lot more reading. They need to measure their words so carefully. They need to stop people like Kellyanne Conway going out
riffing
and giving bad information. They need to sit, they need to read text, everything. They have to strain every word. They have to take every word through a strainer, squeeze every word, and start being exact. Words matter.
I'm sorry, because Kellyanne's not booking herself on these shows. I mean,
how do you know that?
Well, do you think the White House press shop is just saying go out and do this?
Yes, I do. Kellyanne is a free agent.
So you think she's taking phone calls and going on the
show
without talking to the White House press shop?
Conway is a free agent. And they have complained. Everybody in the White House but Donald Trump has complained for months that she is a free agent. She goes out, she says whatever she wants to say, she doesn't
whatever
coordinate
serves
her message,
herself,
and then she comes back in and they have to clean it up. Now she will lie, as she does every time the truth comes out. She will say she's being victimized.
Because she's a woman.
She will then go in and get a picture with the president, and then she'll get the president to tweet something, and her staff, his staff, will have to clean this all up over and over again. They have been doing this now for 4 months. This is just, so you ask a good question. The answer is for everybody inside the White House, and I do mean everybody, but Donald Trump, she's a free agent. She goes out on their own, and they spend half their time cleaning up after her.
Well, if that's true, that's totally unacceptable for
they're
anyone in the White House to
her.
go out on their own without, I mean, you all know how this works. If you're going on a TV show, they have a meeting, they talk about what the message is, and they drive a message. If that's true, then that's staggering and stunning, and it can't happen.
That between Miller on Sunday morning with absolutely no information on the biggest story that you'd be asked about, and then his dictator-like talking, I mean, it's incredible.
What this all says, including the Flynn thing, is a lack of coordination.
You need a strong leader reporting to the President of the United States. A structure matters.
Structure matters, process matters. Process is introduced into anything like this in order to protect people. It's to make sure decisions and issues are vetted and to make sure there's a consistency of message and a rigor of decision making. That is missing here. And to use your phrase, the question is whether this is 2.0 now, whether the lessons are taken to heart and serious changes are introduced.
The first 10 days, John Meacham, and then we need to go to break, but the first 10 days of this White House will be remembered by historians as being chaotic because you had Stephen Miller. By the way, I don't know this kid. I've got nothing against him. I don't know anybody that knows him. But he went around all processes. He and Bannon went around, went to the president, got the president to sign an executive order, which the president of the United States should not have signed, basically brushed aside General Kelly and the Department of Homeland Security. And again, it goes back to process. They paid, the president of the United States and the administration were thrown into chaos for the first 7 to 10 days of their administration because of the lack of process, because of the end-around runs. This is happening on policy, and it's happening on communications because there's not one strong leader there.
Yeah, writing the narrative of this presidency won't be very difficult. Just to add water. I do think it's worth pointing out that the acting attorney general told, informed the White House about the possibility of blackmail. The reason this happened last night was not some magical metamorphosis, but because it was leaking. Because the Washington Post was reporting it. And so I think it's worth pointing out that it was the nature of the possibility becoming public that precipitated this. It wasn't the fact of the National Security Advisor, the office of Scowcroft, Brzezinski, Kissinger, Hadley, Rice. It was not the fact of that being possibly a threat to our national security. It was just the fact that we were going to find out about it.
That's not good, and a very good point.
They had known the fact, Mika, for a month. And the question now that must be answered is who in the White House knew, and why did they allow the vice president to lie? Why did they keep the vice president in the dark? And why did they not even go to him afterwards and said, you've been lied to, and by the way, everybody in the White House but you knows that?
And another big question, did a man who grew up professionally understanding the chain of command conduct that conversation as a freelance move, or with the understanding of people around him that he was doing it?
Exactly.
All right, still ahead on Morning Joe, the ranking member of the Intel Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff, will join us. Will Congress formally investigate what's happened here? We have a big show tomorrow morning. We're going to speak exclusively with the leaders of both the House and the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan will both be on the show tomorrow. You're watching Morning Joe. We'll be right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.